When Sony built the DualShock for the original PlayStation, it turned to Japan Studio to make a game that demonstrated the potential of its new controller. What we got was Ape Escape, the dual-stick-controlled platformer that became an instant classic. Now Japan Studio has focused its attention on PlayStation VR, and in turn, has created the best showcase of the hardware's potential I've seen yet, Astro Bot Rescue Mission. Right from the opening cutscene, it's clear Japan Studio is reveling in what it can do with a VR playground. As characters zoomed in from the distance, I instinctively shifted backward in my seat. I felt like I was part of the scene. This is the key difference between Astro Bot and other platformers. You actually have a presence in the world, while also controlling Captain Astro. This new perspective takes some getting used to. A level's path may lead above and behind, forcing you to turn completely around in your seat. Some walls can be knocked down by smashing your face into them, and secrets can be discovered by leaning to peer over drops to spot ledges below. The base controls are intentionally simple. Enemies can be bashed with a tap of the square button, or destroyed with Captain Astro's handy foot lasers, which double as a means of extending jumps. There's not much variety to the opposition, but the simple rhythm of combat feels good. There are also enemies that ignore your robot pal and target you directly, spitting vision-obscuring goo onto the visor screen that needs to be literally shaken off. This shaking motion is used regularly and is great in theory, but I found when the action was hectic, a vigorous shake of my head would dislodge the headset. Of course, you can always duck and weave to physically avoid the projectiles. When Astro Bot merges this with traditional platforming, it feels genuinely new. Moving my body to avoid a robotic bee while trying to perform precise jumps across narrow gaps with a separate character felt like the video game equivalent of patting my head and rubbing my stomach. More passive platforming fills out Astro Bot's 5 worlds. The controls are tight and responsive, and levels gradually grow in challenge, while also introducing new gadgets. These might transform your in-game DualShock 4 into a grappling hook that can be used to create a tightrope, or a ninja-style launcher that can slice through enemies and lodge shuriken into walls to create new platforms. They're all activated with intuitive touchpad inputs, and for the most part, work as intended, though I did have issues with the grappling hook registering me trying to pull down a wall. There's plenty to collect in each level, from rescuing crew members to uncovering a chameleon that's often hidden in plain sight. These all encourage you to make the most of your presence in the world, and the chameleons unlock some immensely satisfying challenge levels. Astro Bot also pits you against a number of bosses, from a giant robot gorilla that will literally have you pulling teeth, to a wig-wearing corseted spider, whose webs are no match for some well-aimed ninja stars. The boss challenges are quite traditional in design, but as a VR spectacle represent some of Astro Bot's most impressive moments. That said, I found the more challenging late-game bosses a little frustrating, simply because I had to play the same early waves several times just to get back to where I'd died. These moments felt a little at odds with Astro Bot's overall fun-first design. It's hard to overstate how incredibly different and exciting Astro Bot Rescue Mission's new perspective is for the platform genre. In almost every level, I audibly gasped or smiled with delight, like when I needed to duck my head underwater, or when Captain Astro would stand close enough to touch. The satisfying platforming and natural implementation of VR make it one of the most interesting and genuinely new-feeling games in recent memory. For more on PSVR, you can check out why we're excited for its future, and also watch a full playthrough of Astro Bot's first mission. And for everything else, stick with IGN.